Visceral fat is the indicator of chronic disease pending. You feel me? Like, visceral fat is different from subcutaneous fat, though. Visceral fat is like fat around your organs, like in your abdomen, like belly fat. Subcutaneous fat is like flabby arm fat. That's like subcutaneous, like under the skin. So visceral fat is different. Visceral fat comes from a fatty liver. Fatty liver just means you have insulin resistant cells, pretty much. Visceral fat comes from lack of sleep. Visceral fat comes from stress. Visceral fat comes from carbohydrates and refined sugars. Visceral fat comes from alcohol. So lifestyle change is going to be the best way to get rid of your visceral fat. You're not going to be able to get rid of it through exercise, for real. So the reason visceral fat is so bad for us is because it triggers like inflammation throughout the body. So visceral, once those fat cells get bigger like a balloon, eventually it pops. Once the fat cells pop, now you're triggering an autoimmune response. So now your immune system comes in and is like, there's a problem here. We got to do something about it. Our white blood cells create molecules called cytokines. Our visceral fat creates molecules called adipokines. So adipokines have this one molecule it creates called TGF alpha. And TGF alpha pretty much is like turn up the inflammation, y'all. When you turn up the inflammation, now you got inflammation in your blood vessels. You got plaque in your brain that can cause Alzheimer's. Most of the chronic diseases are coming from inflammation. So we have to get rid of the visceral fat. To get rid of the visceral fat means we're going to start with not having a fatty liver. So a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with your water, like twice a day, that's going to reduce your visceral fat. But also, we're avoiding liquid sugars. So any sweeteners to your coffee, any sugary drinks, any nut milks, pause. Don't do any like alternative milks. They're just filled with sugar. So we're avoiding all processed foods. We're avoiding anything that's high in carbohydrates. We're avoiding all breads except for sourdough, because it's the carbs and the refined sugars that's creating this visceral fat, making our cells more insulin resistant. Insulin sensitivity is the way to go for life. If you're more insulin sensitive, you're going to be living a way healthier life. No refined sugars, no liquid sugars, no excess carbohydrates, no breads, no pastas, no cookies, no donuts, no processed foods at all. We're not eating anything that's in a package. We're doing our apple cider vinegar twice a day, and we're lowering our stress. We're not drinking that much alcohol, and we're going to destroy this visceral fat so we don't have any chronic diseases.